3,000 watts of power. Fleece, like, you know, a fleece blanket, a fleece sweatshirt. What the f is he saying? That is not what we told him. See what happens when you use a light meter? You can actually, you know, get your exposure, right? As I get older, I get these really like long ones that grow as fast as the hair on my head. Holy smokes. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Hi, it's me, Mr. Beauty Dish. I mean, I'm just glad you guys let me keep my name on the building, honestly. I'd rather be playing golf anyway, let's be honest. Happy accidents, right? Season to taste. Sal Sincata says, background town, fuck yeah. What's up everyone? Welcome to another video tutorial. Today we are in our studio and we are gonna talk about quick and easy studio lighting setups that you can do, right? It's that time of year and we start moving inside because it's freaking cold. I don't know where you live, but where we live right now, it's 20 degrees or colder outside, so we're not running into the parks and taking pictures of dead trees and all those sorts of things. We want to come into studio, but we also want to be creative, right? Most photographers, even if you're just starting out, sometimes going in studio, it's not my first choice. So if you're like me, I am a wedding and portrait photographer. And when I say portrait photographer, my work, if you check out my website, salsincata.com, you're going to see a bunch of environmental style portraits on location. So that's my style. So I really feel like sometimes when I get brought back into the studio that we are limited, for lack of a better word. So the whole point of this video is to show you what we plan on doing this winter in our studio to be creative. It's not overly complex, super straightforward lighting setups, but they're creative nonetheless. So hopefully we can inspire you and get you guys motivated to go. So a little housekeeping before we get going. Hopefully we'll do an audio check. My team's here, we listening? Audio's good? I got a thumbs up, audio's good. I've got Alicia and Ellie in the chat. So if you've got questions as we go, please do ask them. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe below. Subscribe to the channel, support it so we can keep doing videos like this. All right, so let's get started. We're in studio. How do we light? How do we get things to look better than just slamming light, right? How do we use some gel? So we're gonna do a gel setup. And in my studio, which is right behind me, it's a very small space that we're in right now. So typically, you may be looking at it going, well, that's a bigger space. I'm not trying to studio shame you. I'm just saying we are in a very tight space to do video production and multiple backdrops. So we've got multiple backdrops we're gonna shoot on. And just to give you perspective, right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 feet across from all the way over here, and just kind of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, call it 18 feet. So roughly 18 feet by 18 feet. So not a really huge space to do what we're trying to do in here. And I've worked in smaller, as I'm sure you have as well. So I'm gonna be moving a lot of gear around today to do these 3 different looks. Also some housekeeping, just to better understand what we're using from equipment perspective. There's a lot of you out there who use all sorts of different lighting setups, right? It could be Godox, Westcott, Profoto, Alien Bees, which they're not Alien Bees, right? I always screw that up.
Oh, what are they called? They're not?
Paul C. Buff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going back to the days, I don't know if we've got any old school people here, like they had White Lightning. That was like the brand to go with. Anyway, it doesn't matter what you use, right? So if you're in a studio space, don't believe that you need like 3,000 watts of power to produce things. You actually don't. In a studio, in a space this big, you can do a lot with very small lights. So for this, I'm using a multitude of lights in here, and we'll cover what we're using as we go. But just keep that in mind. Don't gear shame yourself. Use what you got and use what you can afford and add to it over time, right? I think back to when I first started in photography, I couldn't afford every light shaper or modifier. Just build as you go, right? And the things I think you should be focused on when it comes to lighting is the color temperature, something a lot of photographers don't think about. Immediately photographers go right to price, right? So it's like, oh, it's the cheapest. This one's cheaper than that one. Yes, but every time I fire that strobe, am I getting a different color temperature? And I know you probably don't even think about that. I'm curious in the comments, how many of you don't even think about that, right? You just assume, well, it's daylight bounce. Well, it's not. One might fire at 5,500, one might fire at 54, one might fire at 53, 5,700 Kelvin. And if that starts happening, it makes color correcting them kind of a pain in the ass to get them all consistent. So this is something you should be concerned about, right? Imagine if every time you fired your camera, you got a different result from your lens, right? Maybe one's in focus, one's not in focus. I hope that's not the case. Maybe it's not a camera problem, it's a you problem. But on a more serious note, that's something you should be concerned with, right? Like, so color temperature, that variation you should be concerned with. Flash duration is something you should be concerned with. Another big one you should be thinking about is recycle time, right? How long is it taking for that light to recycle? So when you pop, is it 1/1000, 2/1000, or you fire again, right? And the first flash is at full power, second flash is like at a quarter power, third flash might be up to a half a power. Again, these are things that just create chaos for you in post-production. So when you're thinking about lighting, okay, I want you to think about those things and buy what your budget can afford, okay? My money right now is on Westcott. Love the Westcott brand. Paul C. Buff, love that brand. Very inexpensive, but not cheap, right? There's a difference. Great customer support. I can't say enough good things about either company. They've got great customer support. Again, something I would be concerned about, right? If something goes wrong with my light, I want to make sure I've got customer service. And there's a ton of brands out there that have great customer service. So I'm not saying it's only those two. I'm just saying these are brands to think about. All right. I'm assuming there's no questions, and we will just giddy up. Oh, well, we'll get to it. So the other thing as you're working in studio is your backdrops, right? This becomes very important because unless you're going to shoot everything on like a cyc wall, right? White wall, or, I mean, that's so boring. I know there's a lot of, it's very fashion, stuff like that. That would make me seriously want to kill myself. That's why I hate being in studio, because everything starts looking the same. And there's things, of course, we can do to change that. So today what we're using is from Background Town, and I'm actually very excited because these are their fleece line. Now, I don't know if you know what fleece is. I'm assuming, Alyssa, what's the frame up here?
I can see it.
You can see it? So fleece, like, you know, a fleece blanket, a fleece sweatshirt. The backdrops are made from fleece, so they feel incredible. And I'll never forget, I was talking to the team at Background Town, and they were like, how much experience do you have shooting on fleece? And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, it just didn't even cross my mind. I've never worked with fleece prior to these. So I was very, very happy to get these in my hands and start just kind of messing around with them. So I'm just giving you verbally, you'll see when we start shooting. So this particular one, red, beautiful pattern. We'll get to this today. But it's very soft, folds up, wrinkle-free, right? And so I like that as well because they're much easier to just kind of throw into your trunk, throw into a bag, and get going. So far, my favorite part of fleece is the ease of use and the matte finish, the non-reflective finish. So I know you can't really see behind me right now. When I start photographing, you'll notice this. But you know, when you're using backdrops, no matter what you're using, other than maybe just flat paper, there's always that kind of like sheen on it. And with the fleece, one of the things I've noticed is it photographs really well with no sheen, a very nice matte look, which is what I want. I don't want that sheen, shine, which you do get sometimes with other materials on those backdrops. Now, in all fairness, I gotta give these guys a shout out because I knew I was doing this webinar today, and they put together an insane special for you. 70% off all backdrops, fleece only. The people at Background Town right now are like, what the fuck is he saying? That is not what we told him. Sorry, Background Town. Code 70 Sal. Is that really the code? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. If you use code 70 Sal, I don't get any money, any kickback on it. They'll just know it comes from here. And so, like I said, support the channel. But if you use code 70 Sal, they are giving you 70% off all fleece backdrops through December 21st. So if you're watching this on YouTube after that, you snooze, you lose. Sorry about that. So code 70 Sal, Alicia's going to throw it into the comments for you. Take advantage of that if you like what you're seeing. Go to their website now while you're watching. But like I said, they absolutely photograph incredibly well. So let's just get to it and stop talking about it. All right. Lighting setup number one is, for me, an absolute staple. This, if you're doing indoor work, it's a 2-light setup. I use it for my corporate headshots, real estate headshots, anything like that. I also use it for beauty work, and I think you're going to understand as soon as you see it. So I'm going to get Violet. Violet's here with us right now. Come on in. Just wave as you go by, like just, what up? Okay. So we've got Violet here, and again, I'm going to walk you through everything so you can see. Remember what we're talking about today, how to kind of studio lighting setups. This is a really simple setup. I don't know that if you've watched before, I don't think you've ever seen this, this light modifier here. So this is a beauty dish. This is a metal beauty dish. Alyssa, I'm assuming we can see? Yep. So that's does that sound good? Can that be like our new ringtone? Or like when I want to yell at the staff? Attention all. Okay, anyway, you can tell we goof around here all the time. All right, so what I've got here, this is a metal beauty dish lined in white. So you might be thinking, well, what's the difference between that and a softbox? It's going to look different. It's going to be a little bit more crisper. So when you're doing lighting with like a softbox or an octabox, it's going to really soften that light. Now, they make these with white liner and silver. Silver will obviously be more specular. You'll get a lot more contrast. White will soften it up, but it's all relative because, again, this is more of a beauty dish. So that it's going to throw and shape that light a little bit different than an octabox with a baffling inside. But something worth noting, the big difference is when you're using your light modifiers, whether they're strip boxes, octaboxes, things like that, you're firing your strobe direct at your subject, meaning it's light, diffusion panel, subject. If you notice here, I'm hoping they can see this. If you notice here, the light is being fired into this ring and then filling up the beauty dish from behind. So it's softening that up a bit. It's not as hard and direct. So you're going to get a nice even shape of light coming out of this. Again, when you're doing your octabox, it's not evenly lit. I don't know if you've ever tested it by like firing it into a wall or something, but the center is going to be hotter than the edges because of that. So here, you're going to get around the outside a much more even light. And if anything, the center might be a little less lit, if you will. Not by much, but just to give you perspective on the difference of the two. So this is something I enjoy using. Almost every lighting manufacturer makes something like this. And it gives it a little bit more of a fashiony look, and I think you'll see as soon as we do it. So we're going to put this up. And then the second thing I'm using is, again, if you've watched me at all, you've seen this a million times. This is the eyeliner from Westcott, and I believe this is the eyeliner 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. It's their third version of it, and this is just on a little light stand underneath. So from a beauty lighting perspective on her, it's one light, really, that we're using to illuminate her, and it's going to look beautiful because what's going to happen here is we're going to get some great light above, but this underneath is going to fill the shadows under her chin and create an incredible catch light with her eyes. And what I think I'll do is show you both so that so you can get a sense of it. Trusty light meter. I know some of you are like, you don't use light meters. I don't understand it. I will not judge you. I will just tell you I don't understand you. Everybody makes mistakes. As long as they start using light meters now, then it's okay. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to meter right under her chin. So under her chin, I'm getting 5, 6, 6. I can go, let's try to get 5, 6 flat. 5, 6 flat. Now, the other thing I do have behind, and this is always something people enjoy talking about, is this little tiny light stand behind, right? So if you've ever had that kind of light that you're firing into the background to illuminate the background, throw some light on that, and you usually use this humongous normal light stand, this is perfect. It is the Avenger, and the model number is A0010. You can get that from almost any supply or go directly to them, but it's by Avenger. It's metal. It's very heavy duty. I love it. I don't want to tell you a price because I always get prices wrong, and then you guys get mad at me in the comments. You're like, you're wrong. Because everything to me, I'm like, it's about $100, but it's not. It's not $100. I don't know where that came from. All right, so this is behind her, gridded and firing into the backdrop. and that's at 4.0 hitting that backdrop. So we'll see how that photographs, right? It's about a stop less than the main light. Maybe I go brighter with it, maybe I don't. So let's take a nice test shot here. So we've got 5.6. And we'll just take a quick test shot. Beautiful. Here we go. 1, 2. Yeah, we'll fix her hair and get everything right. Okay. So here's the first frame up. Right. This is straight out of camera. Settings look good. See what happens when you use a light meter? You can actually, get your exposure right. If you're into that sort of thing. I don't know, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, fuck it, I like winging it. But one of the things worth looking at here, sorry Violet, we are zoomed in way on your face. Violet's like, holy shit, I didn't realize I had a hair there. You get ear hair? I get ear hair. Do you get ear hair?
I don't.
You don't get ear hair? I don't believe you, Violet. I think you do. I get long ear hairs. And as I'm getting older, I don't know why we're talking about this now, but I feel like we should. As I get older, I get these really long ones that grow as fast as the hair on my head.
The question is it longer than the hair on your head?
It gets sometimes longer than the hair on my head. It's growing faster, and I got to go in there with a tweezer, or Alyssa yells at me. She's like, you're an old man now, because you get that old man. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Okay. Here we go. We're back. So you can see these catch lights in her eyes. I personally love them. So from that perspective, and I'm going to move this and take another frame just so you can see it, right? And then we'll focus on the details of her hair and all that other stuff. I'm not worried about that right now. But I don't want to have dead eyes, right? And sometimes if you don't have those catch lights in the eyes, you can have dead eyes. So I'm going to take the same shot, just bump for 1 second, and move this out of the way. Here we go. And then we're just going to take that same kind of shot, same kind of pose. And then we'll zoom into the eyes. And it's going to look different. I think those catch lights are so important when it comes to your final. I mean, holy shit. Could this be any more drastic? If you're Westcott, you're watching this webinar, you're going, yes, please sign up and buy 100 eyelighters. Holy smokes. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I'm almost embarrassed to show this picture on the right there. So there you go. Sometimes, I mean, this is perfect. You have the screen up? This is the difference between, now you might make the argument, well, okay, Sal, I'd have another light under there. Okay, well, I'm saying with this, we're controlling and filling all those shadows. And now they make this with, and this is, trust me, this is not an advertisement for Westcott. This is how much I believe in this product and use it constantly. So this is Westcott Eyelighter 3. I wish I had a code for you. I don't. They make this with a silver, gold, and white. I tend to use silver. And what you're seeing in this final image is how much of that light coming from above is just reflecting and pushing up. And let's just get past the rest of the disaster that is this image without it and just go look at the eyes. Eyes are dead. Right? So which would you rather have from an eye perspective? Right? I guess it depends. We could make the argument, it depends on what mood you're going for. But I think we can agree that that's a stronger image. Okay? So let's put this back and let's now pay attention to the details. Now, just so you know, something I like to do when it comes to this is I'll have my subject always grab onto the reflector. And the reason I do that is it gives me distance control, right? Because the further they go back or closer, obviously that reflector is going to work differently. But here we are again. The whole spirit of this is in studio portraits, right? Nice, easy tutorial on how to do this stuff. So the main light, as a kind of recap, is at 5.6. You don't need some overpowering strobe. Almost any strobe is going to be able to do this in a studio environment. We're not on location outdoors trying to overpower the sun. We've got just a reflector here. You're seeing the difference in those two images. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And then a background light to kind of just let her pop off that background. We could add another light here. If your budget allows for it, add that third light and add a hair light, separation, something like that. But for this scenario, we're not going to do a hair light. We're just going to separate her from that background. Now, that backdrop is from Background Town. That's that fleece. So you're seeing there's no shine on there. It's a warm tone. Can you throw, which one is it? This is their Bayside backdrop. I don't know if it's showing up on video. That's why I'm kind of trying to describe it to you. It's a warm brown gold tone. So maybe something else worth talking about. When you're working in studio, I like to have a white backdrop, black backdrop, gray backdrop, and a brown one. That's to me a minimum, right? If you're starting out, get those 4 colors because that's going to help you with almost everything you're doing. Maternity, family, everything will be there. Then as you start adding backdrops to your set, now start going with some wild colors like red, greens, yellows, whatever you want to add. But in the beginning, get the basics, right? So get some earth tones, a gray, a black, and then a white. White is useful sometimes. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense. Now, let's get this image right of Violet. Perfect. Clean up the hair here just a little bit. Yep, I like that. That looks good. And then just off this eye just a little. Yep, love that. And this eye, same thing. Perfect. Good. You can keep face straight at me. All right, let's shoot a few of these. Here we go. Love that. 1, 2. 1, 2. Love that, Violet. Stay there. 1, 2. Let me switch sides here. Twist your face this way towards me. Yes, love that. 1, 2. Gorgeous. And let me get a couple of vertical. 1, 2. One more. Love that. Okay, and I can move this off to give me a little bit more wiggle room. And what I'm going to also start doing, are these auto advancing? No. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, we'll go back to here. The light is just beautiful on her. You know, I'm shooting a little bit off center in case I want to use some of these images for marketing, for YouTube thumbnails, right? Give myself some room here. I'm also shooting with a 15mm lens. So let me pull back here a little bit more. Love that. Here we go, chin down just a inch. 1, 2. Love this. 1, 2. Yes, Violet, beautiful. 1, 2, and one more. 1, 2. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure we get some good stuff in here. I'm going to do that again, Violet. I'm off center. I want to bring your chin back to me. So again, just repeating myself at this point, the reason I like getting a light meter to get dialed in is once I'm dialed in, again, you're seeing images come across straight out of camera. Nothing has been done to it. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect. Stay there. 1, 2. And one more chin down. Right there. Let me get a little closer. Gorgeous. 1, 2. Okay. Questions? Anything coming in?
Someone asked what is the Beauty Dish power set at?
So the Beauty Dish so the question is, what's the power of the Beauty Dish? Beauty Dish is at 4.5, so we're at half the power it's capable of putting out. And that's giving me 5.6 at ISO 200, 200th of a second. So that's pretty much my standard in-studio setup, ISO 200, or manual mode to begin with, but ISO 200 and 200th of a second. That's your sync speed, and that's usually going to give me the setup I need or the results I need for that. Let me get a few more. You got more questions?
No, people are just amazed by how much light the highlighter gives with like.
It's crazy.
It's not at that much of an angle.
No, it's not. So it's crazy. Let's cross your arms. Let's get hands into it. Maybe there. Yeah, I like that. Let's go up there. There we go. Gorgeous. 1, 2. Love that. Give me eyes. Chin down. Love that. Keep moving. Yep. Chin down. Eyes at me. Love that. Love that. A little bit more smirky with it. Beautiful. Stay there with it. Love that, Violet. Go ahead. Move it. Love that. I like that. Stay there. 1, 2. Perfect. Okay. So just get a little more variety and go from there. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, right, we're in a very tight space, so no question is coming in, but you should be asking this. So from behind her, I've got 1, 2 steps to the wall, right? So I don't have a whole lot of room for fall off from the light hitting her to this background. So if I were to turn this off, and again, I know no one's asked this question, but I guess I'm trying to help you understand things. Maybe you don't realize you should be asking this question because it changes the look and feel of things, right? So you've all heard of like inverse square law of light, and probably like 95% of the photographers out there, you start glazing over because you're like, who fucking cares? But this is basically what it's explaining to you, right? I'm explaining to you in a very non-technical way, but it is that distance from basically your subject and how much that light is falling off till it hits kind of this background, right? That's what we're trying to do. So we knew at her chin, let me sneak in there, that light's at 5.6 flat. This light has been turned off behind her, okay? So now, if I come here to the backdrop, this light is still hitting the backdrop at 2.0. So the further this light gets away, the only light that would be hitting this backdrop would be this fill light, or right, this background light. And that's not what's happening right now. So it's getting a little bit of this background light and a little bit of that. Again, because we're in a very small condensed space. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And we can control the power on that. We can turn it up brighter. We can turn it up, you can do some of that in post-production too, quite frankly. All right, we good? Okay, I'm going to switch setups here. So we're going to change you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if there's no questions about this, we are going to start using gels now.
That one's staying on the wide camera.
Okay. I hope, I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. I hope you guys watching are like, you looked at that light setup. I was not trying to present that to you as like, this is so incredibly complicated to do. It's not. It's super simple. That's why it's my #1 go-to setup. This kind of like clamshell setup where we've got one light above. That one light can be an octabox. It can be a strip box. It can be a beauty dish. And then underneath, I'm using that Westcott eyeliner. That is, I would say, probably 90%, if not more, that's my normal setup. So that's why I wanted to show you that. I don't think I can show you in studio lighting and not show you that. But okay, you go, all right, Sal, let's get a little bit more complicated here and do something a little different. What about with like gels? So what I'm going to do now is we're going to set up 2 lights on a gray backdrop. Gels are kind of an interesting thing, right? So you've got to worry about things like saturation and things like that, and we'll talk a little bit about it because, right, you want that vibrant color. You're not looking to lose color. So the color of the background matters as well, right? So typically, if you're using a white backdrop, you're going to see some of that color. On the gray, you'll see some of the color, but not maybe as much as on a different color background, right? So if I use a black background, color is going to look different than it would look on a white background. So we just have to be aware of all these things as we're choosing colors. So for today, what I chose are 2 lights. Again, your typical studio lights will work just fine. And I've got teal. And I want to show you this. So I went out to B&H and just purchased these gels. And I bought them. They come in a 12 by 12 sheet, right? And let me get this. You're not going to see me for a second here. Where's all my gels? Are they in this bag? Yeah, okay. So I went off and I bought, they have a kit of like, I don't know how many gels, colored gels. I don't want to give you a number because I don't know what it is. But I bought this a ton of colors of these gels, and they come in 12 by 12. So 1 foot by 1 foot, and then I cut them into 4s. So I folded them and cut them into 4s so that you get this. This fits almost all lights. Yes, there are much more sexier light adapters for gels that all the companies make. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them because I do have them sporadically throughout my bag, but I find that because I'm in so many different scenarios, doing so many different things with so many different lights, now I got to have adapters for each different type of light, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So this with some gaff tape, super inexpensive, and it works, right? So like, for example, I've got Pro Photo back there, but here's a Westcott light. Now I can just take the same gel, call it a day, right? I don't have to go get another adapter, things like that. So for whatever that's worth, I don't know if I'd call that a hack, but I went out and bought these. Very inexpensive, all things considered, and then just using gaff tape. So the other ones that come from the manufacturers, they look sexier, they're built better, don't get me wrong. Something that just feels flimsy with this, but it is what it is. Okay. Yep, I'm not ready. Yeah, hit me.
What is the difference besides the materials the beauty dishes are made of between the softbox type of beauty dish and the metal one you use?
So the question is, what is the difference between the metal dish and the, yes, thank you, Ellie. Oh, that's not a beauty dish. The, where's the Pro Photo one? It's on this table?
Oh, like the collapsible one?
Yeah, the collapsible one.
Oh.
Yeah, grab me that one. No. Okay. So here's a perfect example. This one's metal. This one is collapsible, right? Now this one has a softbox on the outside, or a diffusion panel, I should say, on the outside. But inside, it's got that same, right? Where we're going to fire into that same plate and diffuse the light. I don't know that I would say, and by the way, this has a diffusion sock that you could put over it as well, just like this, to soften it even more. I don't think there's a discernible difference, but I say that with like an asterisk next to it, because I've not compared two images exactly side by side using them. So I don't know that there's a discernible difference, because the technique of filling this modifier is the same, right? It's firing into this middle plate and then dispersing the light. I suppose you could make the argument the metal is more durable. This is a little more flimsy. I will say that. But this travels better than this does, for sure. And so I don't know that end result there's a big difference. Even depth, right? Because how deep your boxes are, that sounded horrible, but you know, it just is what it is. How deep your boxes are matter as well, because that's going to have to do with how far that light's being thrown. You know, is it narrowing that beam, right? And so just keep that in mind. But I do like this. I don't know why. I use this more than I use that one, especially when I'm in studio. It is definitely more durable. So sorry if I didn't answer your question.
Someone asked, how do you gel a softbox?
Awesome, let's do it. So the question is, how do you gel a softbox? So you actually do what we just did here. So let me bring this up to you. So we're going to gel this light to, well, we'll use this, okay? So we're going to fire this beauty dish in. And so we do the same thing. So you can either gaff tape it before you put this on. We'll see how it goes on, if it goes on smooth. Or you can actually gaff tape it after the fact. So I'm going to gaff it before. Yep, and it goes on. Perfect. So you can see what we did there. Just pushed it on, and it's on. So this will now fire. Right, I could have fired bare bulb, but I didn't. So we'll give her some nice shape of light here. So Violet, come on out here for me, please. Make sure I got these other lights turned off. Okay. Oh, wow, white dress, okay. Fast changing. Keep you here. So this will actually probably look really nice on the white dress. We'll get some teal on her. So we're going to go main light, teal. Let me see you right there, Violet. And I'm going to have you like looking at the light so I don't get like split light at you.
Are you done with this metal?
Yeah, is this in the way?
It just keeps grabbing focus.
Oh. The beauty dish wants its airtime, man.
Like, it's me. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, it's me, Mr. Beauty Dish. Okay, so what we're going to do now, once again, back to the light meter. And again, I'm just walking you through this as I go. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you didn't have a gel on this and you metered in and you metered at 5.6. Just know that when you put a gel on a light, you're going to lose power. Stop to a stop and a half of power. Every gel, and color, by the way, is different. It's tied to how thick the material is, things like that. So let's just get this first one going. Right at her chin. So I'm getting 4.0. You know what? I'm going to work with that. I don't mind 4.0. So let's shoot this first one at f4. Here we go, just looking at that. So we're only going to have one color light. Let's see what that looks like. Should be nice. We're going to add red. So I'm going with teal and red. I like that color combination. No color on the background. That's fun. Okay, so we've got that set to 4.0. Now what I want to do is right here on the side of her, I've got a bare bulb light. And we will probably going to basically set this to the same power, right? And then kind of season the taste. So for those of you who were asking before, the power now is at 5 on the light. So we'll put this one at 5, and that should be able to fire right at the back of her head. And then Violet, just because I don't want split light on you, I'm going to have you cheating, yeah, towards that light. And then we've got that gray backdrop, which I think is good for kind of the color setup we have here. So we've got red and teal. And again, just for everyone watching, this is the pace I would move at from a photo shoot perspective as I'm getting dialed in. Obviously, I wouldn't be talking to camera, but I would get dialed in one light at a time. So maybe we can pause there for a second and go through a couple of the way we're set up. So we're still using a 50mm lens. I've changed backdrop. So this one is also Background Town. It's their gray, what's the name of it?
It's antique paper.
So this is called Antique Paper. So I really like the pattern on it as you're seeing in the image. Can you throw that link in there? And then don't forget, again, I'm going to plug them. I'm not getting any proceeds from this sale. They're doing it because we want to offer it to our audience and get these fleece backdrops in your hands. 70% off all fleece backdrops. Get your gray, right? Get your brown, get your black. And if you've get a white pattern from them, maybe you don't get the white and fleece, but get a white backdrop from them as well, and you'll be covered. But it's 70% off. There's no reason not to take advantage of it. So what is it? Code 70SAL. Code 70SAL. 70SAL. All right. So now as I'm looking at this, I like the red edge lights here on her. I like what we're getting on her face. So just a little kind of thing to see here when we start talking about like saturation. The more you overexpose your light, you're going to lose that color, right? So one of the things you can do is maybe I'm going to shoot this at 5.0, even though I know the lights are metered in to 4.0. So watch what happens here. The color should get a little deeper. Cross your arms for me, maybe. Yeah, up there. Yeah, thank you. You're in news anchor mode. I like it. Chin more left, and eyes maybe here. Yes, right there. Beautiful, Violet. Right there. Here we go. 1, 2. One more. 1, 2. Stay there with it. I'm going to go vertical. Love that. Sneak me a peek. Yep, right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Stay. Good. So notice now, right, those colors are a little deeper for us versus being overexposed. So something I like to do, whether you want to consider it good, bad, or indifferent when I'm working, right, is let's say I'm in Lightroom. And again, remember, this is straight out of camera. So we'll make some adjustments here. The lighting pattern on her, it doesn't really bother me. I love that she's wearing the white dress, but you're not going to get a perfect lighting pattern unless I move that light all the way behind her and just make it truly an edge light, which I don't want. I do want some light spill and things like that. But what I do care most about, for the record, is what that light looks like on her face. So just to kind of show you what I would do, I would want to have color, right? Color's important to me. So I've got the color. Now in post-production, so I'm under exposing on camera. Remember, the lights were metered in for 4.0, but I wanted deeper colors. So I shot it at 5.0. So not quite a full stop, right? It's 4.0, 5.6. So call it a half stop. I'm a half stop underexposed. Now I can go into Lightroom. I do this all the time. Go into Develop, get your brush, right? And just paint her face and lift exposure on her face. So that's a little technique I do. Right, if you want to see this kind of reset, right, look at her face, before, after, before. I don't know what's happening. Oh, fucking Lightroom. So if we go, let me paint that again for you, right, and just leave it there and just lift that exposure just a little bit. So You may look at something like that and be like, that's cheating. Get a snoot. Do that. I don't want to. This is the way I want to do it. And so I'm just trying to show you a little kind of cheat for that to get your colors looking right. So we've got 2 lights in here to do that. We can start playing around with this, maybe move this light a little, more to the side of her. Now you're going to see a little bit more spill on her. So let's go, yeah, I like the body lines. Love the hand on the hip. Break that wrist for me a little bit here. It feels funky. Go here, back hip. I like that a lot. What if this hand now comes across the waist? Yes, love that. Chin this way just a little bit. Love that. Eyes on me. Beautiful. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2. Okay. Don't move. Hold that pose as best you can. So now, come on. See, so this is what starts happening, and I would say, I can't look you in the eye and tell you there's a right or wrong answer here. Like, some people love this shit. Some people are like, you're the worst photographer in the world. So what I'm going to tell you with this kind of stuff, especially when you're using with gels, have fun, experiment, mess around with the light, do what is going to look good for you and your brand. So some people look at that light spill and they think, man, that's really bad. I don't know. I can't. Lisa, what do you think?
I'm not a fan of light spill on face.
So you don't like this?
I like the body.
No, I'm talking about specifically the light.
Just on her face is where I don't like it.
You hate it here.
Hate it.
Yeah, so Alyssa hates this light spill, so you like this.
Yep.
More evenly lit. Yeah, and that's fine. So Alyssa's in the back, just keeping me down. As always, I don't know how I'm supposed to.
The 2-time winner of Syncada.
She's the 2-time winner of Syncada and Syncada. She can't be wrong. I mean, I'm just glad you guys let me keep my name on the building, honestly.
It's mainly because of Syncada.
Because she's a Syncada, yeah. I'm out. I should retire. I'd rather be playing golf anyway, let's be honest. Anyway, so my point is, hopefully it makes sense to you guys and a little entertaining at the same time, but it makes sense that you're seeing that, look, seasoned taste, I'm not going to tell you it's right or wrong. It's really what you like or don't like when it comes to gels. I think you can do a lot of cool things and be funky with it, right? So if it's fashion, you know what? I bet if Loretta Houston was watching, Loretta would say, she liked my image. It's giving what? Vogue? It's giving Vogue. Where's Loretta when I need her? Anyway, so I think, like I said, you're really seeing the point there. But again, focus on the backdrop, right? So that backdrop's got that kind of pattern to it where it's very neutral. Also, keep in mind, I'm shooting at 5.6 here. So I hate shooting at 5.6, but if you're doing studio work, everybody's at 5.6, 8.0. I love being at 1.2, so let's do it. Let's see if we can get down to 1.2 here. See if that changes the way anything looks. So we will go down to like 2 here. So you might be wondering, like, why aren't you using the light meter? Well, because most light meters, right, aren't going to get me there real quick. So I'm just going to kind of trust my instincts here. Let's see how far off I was. This was me just adjusting, way off. But I do like the way that looks. So I'm going to make another adjustment. I would say we're probably off by 3 stops there. So let's go to 1 here. I changed my ISO to 100. Both of these are at 1.
I kind of like that.
You like that blown out look?
I do.
There we go, 1, 2. Okay, and the next thing I probably adjust if this is off. Okay. I do like the way that look. I like the way that background starts looking there. But this is what happens when you don't meter in and you get lazy. You start wasting a lot of time. See, you notice there's no like blue there showing up on her, at least not enough. I think there's too much ambient in the room, quite frankly. Yeah, because this is giving me underexposed. So, and the light's not going to go any lower. So this is, unless you're in a pitch black room, you're not going to be able to do this at, that ISO. So I'm actually going to ISO low, which is ISO 50. Do one more here, see what we can do. Okay, let's see how that comes back. You like that shot? Okay. Yeah, no, it's going to cut off at hour and a half. Am I already at an hour? This is such a problem. I'm so sorry. If you tuned in and you're like, if this is your first time watching and you're like, so I'll be done in an hour as advertised, you should know by now that's never going to happen. All right, we got one more look. Let me see if I can get this to look right at 1-2. Does not look like we're going to get there. There's just too much light in the room. Did those fire?
No.
Oh, they didn't.
I don't think so. Oh, I did.
Did? Let's take one more. Yeah, there we go. We're getting better. Here we go. 1-2. Okay. I just like the milkiness of that at 1-2. I know a lot of portrait photographers who do studio work, they hate that look, but I just really do like it. I like the way the background goes soft and everything, and it's kind of a favorite. All right, so I'm clearly screwing this up by not metering in, and I'm off script anyway, so. Yeah, I like it. It's, you know what? It's very subtle. True. Alyssa's in the background. She approves. So it's, she's saying she likes it. Here, let's go hands across the, I like the way you just had your hand. That's stunning. Love that. Here we go. Let me get you here. Don't move. Please get one of these that I like. Good. Good. Oh, don't fall. Chin this way just a little. Right there. 1-2. One more. 1-2. Stay there. Let me get a vertical. Look at that light. Chin up. More left. Right there, right there. Beautiful. Sweep that hair for me again. Right there, Violet. Beautiful. Right there, right there. Sneak me a peek. Chin down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. Those look good. So we'll start messing around with those. I do see a little light leak on her nose. More than likely, I'll have to, well, that's not too bad. No, so we'll go from there. Okay. We got one more, right? Yeah. We're going to do a snoot this time. Okay. Girls, we got to change that backdrop.
Let them know they're going to see the opposite side of everything we do.
Yeah. As this backdrop goes down, it's going to be like the curtain on stage. You're going to see the production day. So you got to get this down and up fast. Okay? Were there any questions in the queue?
There were not.
Okay. So let's talk through it as we're waiting for them to change the backdrop. This backdrop, do you know which one this is?
It starts with an A.
Starts with an A. Amp. So this is also by Background Town, and the name of it is Amp, and it's also a fleece. And so you're seeing, something worth noting is you're seeing that whether you shoot at 1.2, 5.6, f11, and how much distance there is between your subject and the background, shooting at 1.2 can really soften that background a little bit if that's what you're looking for. And for me, sometimes it is, especially in studio. So that's just kind of something that I enjoy doing when I'm in studio is shooting wide open. Again, I get all the comments from portrait photographers, and I don't know how to say it any other way other than I just don't care, which I have to say. Because, and I give you this advice as well as a photographer, shoot for your clients, right? What do you care what photographers in your group have to say about fucking anything? Like, what does it matter what they say? At the end of the day, are they paying your bills? Are they coming to you? No, they're not, right? So focus on creating a look and style that is uniquely yours so that when your clients see the work, they recognize that work. When you're posting on Instagram, when you're posting on Facebook, clients are recognizing your work. To me, there's no better feeling in the world than when a client will be like, I saw this picture, I knew it was yours, right? That's the best feeling in the world. That means you're doing a really good job at stylizing your work. So I think that's got to be your focus as we move into winter and you're doing stuff here, right? So the stuff with the gels, I hope you're inspired by it. You can do, all sorts of color changes. What I would also recommend you do is look up color theory. Like, just Google it. Google color theory. And then there's like, I'm going to screw it up, but there, right, you can have, kind of binary colors, right, complementary colors, and things like that. I'm by no means a master of color, but you want to pick colors that make sense on the color wheel. and that goes. So like a teal and an orange is a very popular, even in Hollywood, you see a lot of that. Blue and orange, you see a lot of. Teal and red is a nice color combination, but you know, get into your studio and just start messing around. I think that's where the fun begins. All right, so for this last look, and if you have questions, ask them. We're going to go with a one light setup again. Now remember the spirit of everything we're doing. It's working in studio, right? And creating some unique looks in your studio, right? So that hopefully you can sell portraits and, make some money. That's the point. So we're going to get rid of this teal now. And what I'm going to do here is we've got the red backdrop. And for some odd reason, you guys hang tight. I put my snoot away. I don't know why. Sometimes we just do things. And let me get this. I guess, Alyssa, you can go and dance on camera if you want. Do something while I'm off set. All right, so I've got, again, almost every lighting manufacturer makes snoots. So we have a snoot here. It's a rubberized one. It collapsed. Again, every manufacturer makes them. I'll even give a shout out here to Magmod. Magmod makes light modifiers for your almost any light that's out there. But this one, you know, I would say with snoots, they have ones that are metal. Those are a bit of a pain in the ass to travel with, just like the beauty dish. This one is a collapsible rubber one, and you know, get that. So we're going to light her with a snoot. So it's just going to go on the light. All right, get on there. Oh, well, shit. Help if you undo the clamp so that you can slide the light on, but hey. Okay, so Violet, why don't we get you out here? Now I know why Alyssa was pushing the red dress so hard. Alyssa, just so you know, my wife was like, we got to shoot the red dress. I'm like, we'll see if we get to it. I don't know if I have time. She's like, we're going to get to the red dress, right? We're going to get to the red dress. Well, now I see why, right? No, she looks amazing in it. Yeah. All right. So, Violet, I'm going to have you, I need you kind of, let's see if we can see this light. So this is why when your lights have a modeling lamp, you want to kind of turn those on. Where is it at? Let's get you under it. Get a little, there it is, there it is, there it is. Okay. So the modeling lamp at least helps us kind of get this light and see where it's at. And obviously if we were in a blackout situation, we'd be able to see that much easier. But we do have some natural light sneaking into the studio. So now, once again, light meter. We're going to light and pick up what's coming off this snoot. So 404 is coming off the snoot. So I want to get that to 40 proper. Okay, so we're at 40 flat on that light. So let's get our camera set back up. Oops, battery died. Yeah. Be like a dancing monkey now. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we're at 40 flat on the snoot light. I would imagine that everything else, let's make sure this is working. There we go. Okay. So we'll get the camera set up. We're at ISO 200, f4. 1/200th of a second, and let's just take a, I love your pose. This is beautiful. maybe right here. Beautiful. Stay there. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, the red gel is firing. I forgot about it. I don't know. It's not going to be enough light, but now that I see it, I feel like I want it. Oh, look at that. All right, so let's make this work. Happy accidents, right? Season to taste. Do whatever you want to do. I don't know how I feel or don't feel with the light. It does, doesn't it? So let me go. Yeah, you get shorter. Or we can do what's easier and make the light brighter. Higher, yeah. Now, guys, we made the light higher. So we know power is going to be different, right? So let's remeter. Ooh, now we're getting back to my happy place. It's 207. So we'll fire it at 2.8. So one stop just by raising it. I don't know, maybe I raise it a foot and we lost a stop of light. Okay, so let's see what this is doing. Love this. Chin this way. Chin up high. We got to pick that up. Yeah. Love the eyes down lower. Right there. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, I think that's going to look good. Let's see it. And I love this red backdrop, by the way. Woo! Okay, I got a little too crazy with the red gel. I'm actually going to fire it here. I just cranked the power. I was like, fuck it, red. Lots of red. Okay. I don't want the red on the background. Do you agree, Alyssa? I like this darker background. And see how you see some red highlights in her hair? You like that?
No, that's a lot of wash.
It's too much. Yes. All right, here we go. We got to stick with that same pose just because of where that light's at. Chin more left. Yep, pop hips and everything. You had all sorts of angles. Yeah, yep, hand looks good. Chin up. Right there. Eyes up maybe. Yes, right there. Stay there. Gorgeous. 1, 2. See what that's looking like. And then once I get dialed in with it, obviously if I weren't shooting tethered, I wouldn't have to keep walking back over here. But once I get dialed in with it, then I'm going to move. Oh, there we go. That is beautiful. Oh, I love the shadows her eyelashes are creating. Yeah, it's got that vibe. I love the background. Background town. Fuck yeah. Background town, I guess you could use that in your marketing if you want to, if you want a little tagline. You could be like, Sal Sincata says background town. Fuck yeah. All right, here we go. Let's rock it out now. This looks beautiful. You like the way that's looking? Okay. So I think if we look back into like the first, see that you gave me those lines where you're kind of like going one way with your upper body, lower body, that knee's coming across more than likely. Yeah. See that? Love that. Love the body lines. Good, good. Is that light washing on you? Yes. Okay, perfect. Keep your chin, cheat it this way and up. Just cheat a little bit. And I do like that. I'm not a big fan. You know me. I'm always like chin down. But it looks, I feel like it works for here. And then your bangs are separating just a little. Yeah, let me get this shot. Here we go. 1, 2. Stay there. Do not move. I want to shoot through this. Love your pose. Let your eyes go up now. Yes, right there. Violet. Beautiful. Stay there with it. Stay there. Stunning. Here we go. 1, 2. Now just sneak me a peek with your eyes. Yes. Beautiful, Violet. Beautiful. Love the body lines.
These are amazing.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I don't want to see the palm of that hand. Yes. Here we go. Yes, Violet. Looking away. Looking away. Yes. Beautiful. Stay there. Love that. Gorgeous. Eyes up. Follow your nose. To the left. Yes. Beautiful. Love the lines. Chin down now. Right there. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Eyes on me. Love that. Hate it. Here we go. Love that. Hey, I'm honest. All right. Right there, Violet. Stunning. Hold that. Eyes up again. Gorgeous. Okay. Whew. Red for the win. These are so moody. Now I can't wait to, I really can't wait to, oh, Violet. See when you get your eyes up? I love it. That backdrop, I really like it. That is amazing. Yeah, I'm not just saying it. I really like that backdrop. The red on red, good call. 100% my idea. I was like, we got to get the red in. All right, questions. Ivan had a question. Let's give it up for Violet virtually. Good job, Violet. You did awesome, my girl. Yeah, they look beautiful. You like what you're seeing?
I love them.
Awesome.
As always.
Thank you, thank you. Ivan, what was Ivan's question?
With the light up that high, does it show up in her eye or no?
So the question is, with the light up that high, does it show up in her eye or no? So I'm zooming in for Ivan now. Hopefully we're showing this screen. The answer is yes. So you're still going to see that catch light in her eyes, and that's what you're kind of seeing in there. So it's beautiful, beautiful light. But you are seeing the difference, right? You've got to manage this. As her face comes down, it starts creating some really bad shadows. So you might say, well, use the highlighter. I don't think you use the highlighter. You want the snoot. That's creating the mood of this. You could probably brighten this up a little bit. The shadows to me are too hard. I don't particularly care for that look. I like this, which is why I kept encouraging her to lift her chin. So that's something we as photographers have to manage. This image of hers, I just love. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful light, beautiful detail. That's your favorite one? Maybe I should have used this for the last Sincata versus Sincata. But any other questions? All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. If there's no other questions, before I get off air, you got a question, hit me up. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to get more content like this, help support the channel. I can't endorse enough Background Town for these fleece backdrops. Take advantage of that special. It's 70% off all fleece backdrops. So remember what I told you. Get that gray, get that black, get that kind of earth tone. I didn't say it earlier, but now that I'm seeing the red, get that red. Throw that code in one more time for them. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give us some comments below. What was your favorite image? Which one did you like the best? And if you have any questions about what I did, I'll be sure to answer them for you. We'll see you next time.